A pleasure.
Well, you were talking about security, how safe Ondo State is, and the efforts being made by your administration. Well, if you may just continue from where you left off, and then also tell us about state police, which is also a major subject in Nigeria today.
So still on security, especially with what Kayode Akintemi mentioned about security votes. Yes, security vote is meant for security. That is just the simple answer. Yes. But when you say security, security covers different areas. You talk about logistics for the security personnel. You talk about the intelligence gathering, equipment, and all of that. You know, the welfare also of the security personnel, apart from their normal salaries, because of the kind of work they are doing. And this covers all the security agencies in the state, not just the police, not just the army, because all of them are involved. The joint task force, the collaboration among all the security agencies in ensuring that the state is safe. And in this time that we are in, security is very, very key, is major in what we do because of the insecurity in the country. And when you say security in the country, it's not just Abuja, it's the states that make up the country called Nigeria. And Ondo State has its own fair share of this. And so we have to ensure, for us to ensure that the state is safe, it's a whole lot of work. And it's not, there are some of these things we cannot be divulging here in the public, or there are security matters that you know, you don't have to let out of the bag for the public. But the security people, we meet regularly, the Security Council, to discuss issue of security and how to best, you know, address some of this. So, and our own homegrown security body, the Amotekun called Southwest Security Network, has been doing a lot, and which is talking about state police. That is a version, if I can say, of state police, because the work we are doing and the way Amotekun is structured, the recruitment into Amotekun, the personnel are drawn from the various local government, the 18 local government. And when they are trained, they are returned back to the same local government to serve, because they are from there, they are resident of that local government, they know the terrain, everybody seems to know everybody, so to speak. So they know the flashpoint, who and who issues, and all, so they can easily track, you know, incidents that might want to happen in their local government and report to the center. So that has made Amotekun to be so effective, and that is why the response of Amotekun to any crime has always been very wonderful, and they have been being backed up by other security agencies, because Amotekun, the way it is, they have their limitation in terms of the equipment they can carry. The law do not permit them to carry certain kind of weapon that they can use to actually defend themselves. That is why they work together with some other security agencies like the army, the civil defense, and the police that are empowered by law to carry certain sophisticated task force. Yeah. So, and once they get intelligence on operation, and they connect and then they move, and that is why we've been able to, you know, stem the issue of insecurity in Ondo State.
Is there any synergy between them, the Amotekun, and the security part of OPC? Or is just only the
OPC? OPC is a different body, you know, do our People's Congress, you know, a social, non-political group. They have their own, like every other organization. It's not as if there is an MoU, an agreement, written agreement between Amotekun and OPC, but there's always collaboration. That is the area we don't want to talk in the public, because intelligence gathering, you have your people, informants, they can belong to one organization or the other that get in information about happenings in areas. And then when they want to go on operation, we have the local farmers, local hunters rather, who knows the forest that are working, with our people. So they can engage anyone in the society that could be of help, in terms of intelligence, in terms of operations. So how they do that is known for the, operation people. But OPC is there. There is a group that has their own strength in whatever they are doing. The engagement, every man on this, ordinary man on the street can be a security threat. It can also be a security support. Because he might be the one that saw something that moves around some people, then you just engage the person. And he would have certain information that would be of help. Newspaper vendor can be of help in terms of security. They go around so just the woman roasting corn by the roadside can be of a very great importance when it comes to security matters. So security is vast, very, very. So the people in charge, they know where to go to when they need something. They can go to any length, any kind of security threat or operations they want to get involved in. So,
okay, let's go to education because you talked a little bit about your big plans for the economy. We want to know in which areas you've really made an impact in education here in Ondo State. And then we also want you to talk about what is happening with Rufus Giwa Polytechnic. That you've not honored your word right
now. In education, we have done some work within the 1 year or so. We have, for example, we have renovated a lot of our schools and built more classrooms so that out-of-school children figure can reduce. That at the primary school level, the collaboration between the state government and the federal government, where the state government provide counterpart funding, and the federal government also, we access certain fund for primary basic education that is being used to build schools, to renovate schools, and then to support primary school education. We have done that. In fact, Ondo State is one of the best states in that category if you check the data state by state. Not only that, we recruited teachers into our primary and secondary school. Record has it that in the last 15 years before I came on board, the state has not recruited secondary school teachers. And I came on board, I recruited about 2,150 teachers to cover the gaps. About 1,050 for primary school, 1,100 for the secondary school. Aside, we've also, our technical schools have been renovated, and like never before, enrollment has increased in technical education that before now that has been very, very poor, because we're trying to emphasize skill development, being trained in the area of skill acquisition. So our technical colleges are having a new leaf right now in terms of renovation, equipment, and teaching styles, and enrollment has increased. Now, going to tertiary institution, we have increased the subvention to our tertiary institutions so that they can pay their salaries and meet other overhead costs. We did where we came on board. twice now. When I came in before my election, I did. And then when minimum wage...
How much was the subvention before you intervened?
The exact figure